What's up, everybody? This is PC from Paula's Purse, where the bag is always filled with topics to discuss. I am in a new, beautiful environment, and today I really have a lot to unload. Um, so I found out today that I lost a really good friend of mine, Rodney White. Rest in peace. And I found out that he passed 6 months ago. And I have been texting him for 6 months. And finally, his female friend, decided to call me this morning and let me know that he had passed. So I wouldn't continue to call. So this one is really hard. It's really hard. But what I decided is I'm just going to cook me something to eat, even though I'm not hungry. I'm going to have a glass of wine. I'm just going to spend some time in the kitchen. And this show is dedicated to Rodney White. All right. So if you happen to see me drop tears, it's okay. All right. So, new environment, as you can see. So I will fast forward the video as needed. But once again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. So I decided that I would just make something simple. I'm just going to make me some Spanish rice, and I'm going to brown some chicken, and I'm just going to mix it in together. And that is probably what I will eat on later tonight or tomorrow. I just don't have an appetite at this moment. But I would like for you guys to see um, the new kitchen. Ta-da. Ta-da. I bet you're probably wondering, what the heck am I doing? Just a new environment. I'm so excited about it. All right, I am going to take the camera off of myself because you can clearly see that I have been crying, and I'm going to get down to cooking. So you'll just hear me and not see me. All right. So I wanted to talk about loss because in the Black community, that is one thing that has never been discussed with me. Looking for a good knife. How to process loss, death. And I really, my dad died March 27, 2019, and I'm still dealing with that. But therapy definitely works. I want to say about Rodney. Rodney graduated from Texas Tech. Very smart. Very, very smart. And he worked for Budweiser for 20 years. And he retired this year, which is so weird. He retired, I would say, maybe in March, but it was sudden to me because he was at work one week, and then a couple of weeks later, he was like, "Hey, I retired." And I'm like, "You retired?" He said, "Yeah, I retired." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, congratulations." And he died less than 6 months after he retired. I'm going to wash my chicken off. And shout out to Miss Tasha. and Miss Alicia. They called me today. They are always right on time. So it's been a year. You guys remember I did an episode about my friend Tasha. She and I lived together right after I lost my home, and then she got very sick, and I was like, "Listen, girl," we called all her so-called friends, and this is what I found out. You find out who's really your friend when you are in need. But it's been a year. So she and her daughter called me and they were thanking me for saving her life. And I had to thank Tasha for saving my life, for giving me, for giving me a place to stay. Otherwise, I would have been, who knows where I would have been. I'll just say that because God is good and He is always on time. Because when I lost my home to um, Angel Properties of all names, they stole my home from me. But when I lost my home, I was homeless for maybe 2 hours, and then Tasha came through, and it was nothing but the grace of God for what she and I have done for each other. So yeah, so they called me today, and it's been a year for Miss Tasha. So I love you. And back to Mr. Rodney. Today is, like I said, he's been deceased 6 months, so it's not like he just passed. And that was kind of weird too. His female friend giving me a call, because I remember before he passed, he said he wanted to move back to Clear Lake and get him an apartment. Now, mind you, he has a $400,000 home in Spring. He owns a I call it Big Mama. He owns a S500 Mercedes, and he lived a great life, really did. And I'm really gonna miss him, because it's hard to have friends who are the opposite sex. Rodney would fill has a really large refrigerator, and he would fill his refrigerator with all of Budweiser's products. And so he worked 11 to 7, and then he switched to 3 to 11. So he would say, "Hey, I left the key. You can go by there and get you some stuff." And I'm like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, you can swing by the house." So I would go shopping. I would go shopping at Rodney's house, not only in the refrigerator. He didn't know this, but he knows it now. Plus, he kept his pantry filled with snacks. Rodney had a humongous home, beautiful home, 6 bedrooms, just beautiful. And he was one of those. He kind of reminded me of my father in the sense where, when you walked into his home, you probably would have thought that a woman lived there, because it was always clean. Always clean. I'm gonna take this off the fire because it's kind of getting a little too hot. And let me season my chicken that I cut up. But yeah, I would go to his house and just stock up on Budweiser products. And I'm really gonna miss him, because like I said, it's hard to have friends. People come and go because sometimes people want stuff, and if they don't get what they want, they might want to move on. And Rodney and I were friends, and he was always there for me. If I needed anything, like money wise, he would say, "Okay, come to the job. I'll go to the ATM right before you pull up." You know, um, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna share this with you guys because this is Rodney's day. Rodney was upset with me. I've always had two dogs, right? I've always had dogs since I dated Michael. And I never invited Rodney over because he had really bad allergies and eczema. And he would always say, "Man, I can't believe you never invited me to your house." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I have dogs. Now I'm down to one dog." And yeah, I was thinking of him, but I understand his where he's coming from as well. So I didn't. I never invited him to my house. And I'm gonna tell you this: I never invited anyone to my house unless we were dating, because I had children. And you have to be careful who you bring around your children. And I'm not saying that he wasn't the type of guy that shouldn't be around my children. He absolutely was. But it wasn't like he was the only person that I wasn't inviting over. I didn't invite any man over unless we dated, unless we were in a relationship. And Rodney and I were not, not in a relationship. I was waiting for for the girl to leave. Once she moved out, I was like, "Ooh, Rodney, when are we gonna get married?" And he would always say, "When she leaves." Yeah, that's what he would say. When she leaves. I'm like, "God, would she please just leave?" He said they were no longer, intimate. And so I'm like, "Well, why is she just hanging on?" Good guy though, so I can see why. But this is what really bothers me about the whole thing. I've been texting Rodney for 6.5 months, and she just decided to call me today. Why not call me right when he died? I mean, just something to think about, because when my father died, one of the things that I did was when I got my dad's phone and I charged it, I went through his entire contacts and I called everybody just to let them know that my father had passed. And I also wanted to give everybody the opportunity to say whatever they wanted to say, and to let them know, when the memorial service was going to be. And that was the first time that I ever heard grown men cry, when I had to call them to say my father passed. Yeah. So just for all of those who are watching, when your parents die, that's one of the things you want to do. On top of calling the insurance company, you want to call all the contacts, because you want to let everybody know. That's just common courtesy. At least that's what I believe. Now I'm going to chop up some red peppers, yellow peppers, and I have some fresh onions. So that part was very devastating, that I'm just finding out. But such is life. What can you do? I can't do anything about it. It might have been on purpose, but you know, it doesn't really matter at this point. So I am chopping up some red and yellow and orange peppers. These are the mini sweet peppers that I love to cook with now. Guys, don't forget I have a shoe drive coming up in December. I am trying to raise $2,500 for the shoe drive to support 20 families by purchasing tennis shoes for the children, all school age children. The complex that I've chosen is Royal Palms Apartments. I used to manage that property. Matter of fact, that was the property that I managed when I met Rodney. So It's a tax write-off. It's tax deductible, so you can make a donation and then put it on your taxes. So you'll get that money right back. All right. So back to Mr. Rodney. Rodney used to call me Paula Dean. He would call me Paula Abdul. And he would say, he lied one time. He was like, hey, I heard this song. I said, what's the name of the song? Bust Her Back Down. And then he would sing it just like that. Bust her back down. I said, bust her back down. Bust her back down. I truly am going to miss you. Now, I mentioned, when you're growing up, it's not going to work. You learn a lot of things. Your parents teach you a lot of things. My father taught me a lot. He always sat down and explained things to me and how things work and how you should act and how you should carry yourself and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. But my father never talked to me about loss. How do you handle loss? When my father died, I wanted to die. I really, truly wanted to die. I took 6 pills out of the Tylenol bottle, and I took 3. And I was sitting there like, what you gonna do? You gonna take the last 3 or what? But I decided that I'll just take a long nap, because the very next day is when I lost my home. And I put the 3 pills back because I realized you don't have to kill yourself. You just have to change the situation. It's never as bad as it seems. That's what you have to know. It's never as bad as it seems. Sometimes the thing that you are holding on to is what God is trying to take away from you. So you can get back on track with your life and your life's journey. And I'm okay with that, because angel properties, you get what you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. I love this deep sink. I really do. Rodney wasn't he didn't he wasn't a drinker, but every now and again he would drink a beer. Make sure that's good. Oh, that's perfect. He would drink a beer, but I would always, I'm a green smoker, so I would smoke before I get there and put them in my mouth. But then he had really bad allergies, and his senses, oh my God, he'd be like, you smoked? And then he would say stuff like, you stopped smoking, huh? I just stopped smoking before I come over here to visit you. That's all that was. Because you got to be respectful. Somebody got really bad allergies, you go into their house, you don't want to walk up in there and you smelling like cigarette smoke or incense smoke or barbecue smoke. Any kind of smoke. So I chopped up my red and yellow peppers. So I'm going to chop up a couple of fresh onions. And then I'm going to put on some Spanish rice. I'm just making a simple dish today because my heart is truly broken. I know we all have to go. And this is what I think about a lot, because as you get older, and I can only speak for myself, but as I get older, I think more about death. when I will die and how I will die. But it's important for your loved ones to know this. When you die, make sure you contact everyone in your parent, your mom's, or your dad's contacts. Contact everybody. You let them know that your parent died and this is when the memorial service is going to be, and you give them the option to come or not. But don't take it upon yourself to be like, no, I'm not going to call them because, my mama did and, my dad did that. Just call who's in her contact. Because she got them in the contact for a reason, right? She got them in there for a reason. Now, there are people in my phone. There are no people in my phone that I don't mess with. If I no longer mess with you, you are not in my contact. So that's just a little nugget to our children. You know, don't make judgments on contacts. Just call people and let them know. Because it's the final time that anyone will see your parent again. I can't talk about heaven and what will happen because I don't know. No one has ever come back to tell me about heaven because I got questions about it. Is your spirit just free? I mean, because your body is ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? Your body turns back into bones and dust. But is your spirit free? All right, guys. I am going to go grab, got my glass for some wine. I'm going to have a toast on behalf of Rodney. Someone made me some sangria last night with this, so I'm going to use it. And I want to taste this chicken too. I'll be right back. You're probably wondering, where did I go to get the wine? So this is my sangria with blueberries. Just so you can see me. And this is a toast to my really good friend who I'm going to miss. But it's okay. It's all right. And I love you. Salute. All right. That's the way that goes. Okay, so let me turn this back on. I'm gonna pop in a couple of peppers, a couple of the fresh onions. I'm gonna save some of it when I make the rice. And then we're just gonna keep going with the show. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I know it's been a minute. My last location wasn't the best location to shoot anything other than the location. Hopefully y'all got that. So that's why I wasn't able to do any shows, but I did do some shorts. All right. Back to Rodney. let me I Rodney was one of those guys that you would want to marry. He had it together. He had it together. He had been on his job 20 years. His home was immaculate, 6 bedroom home, living room upstairs, living room downstairs, just beautiful. And he was the type of man that you would want to marry because we run across so many nothing bum bums. And so when you find someone like Rodney, that's really somebody that you want to hold on to, whether you're in a relationship with them, and I'm just cutting the chicken in half, or if you're just friends. Rodney and I have been friends since 2011. And it sucks because his number was called. And I had the opportunity to live another day. But my number will be called also. And what happens when you die, or at least when my father died, that was the first time that I ever heard men cry. I'm just going to put the light ones in. That's expected. And I'm going to put a little of the red and the orange. That was the first time that I heard men cry. And it really broke my heart. But I found solace in it as well because I realized my father was loved and cared for. Excuse me. I grew up in a home where I heard nothing but negativity about my father. So to find people who felt the same way I felt about my dad, that was a blessing in itself. I love the colors. Y'all see the colors? Let me come closer. That's why I like the mini peppers. The red, yellow, orange, green. It's just like a pop. I'm gonna do next time easy lasagna also. Turn that down a little bit. I want to say also, I'm a clerk when it during voting time, and shout out to everybody who voted. It's so important to vote. Democrats are not always going to be in charge. You know that pendulum swings both ways. So Republicans take over, and then Democrats win, and then Republicans win, and you just hope that whoever is in office that they do what's best for all, and not what's necessarily best for themselves. Because Trump did a lot of shit for himself personally, business wise, while he was in office. But hey, there's nothing we can do about it. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote because it's very important 2 years from now that you vote on the local level. And you're probably like, well, what do you mean by that? Like the local level is within your state, within your county. Somebody's calling me. Your mayor, the congressmen, senators, constables, all of those people we will be up for election or re-election in the which is I call it the mid term because it's 2 years. So please register to vote. Find out who you should vote for and just vote. And I will say this about voting. While working the polls, a lot of Hispanics came in and they, for the ones that needed assistance, let me say it this way, the ones that needed assistance, meaning getting set up on the machine because they don't speak any English, they all voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. Yeah, they voted for Trump. There's nothing else I can say. Black men voted for Trump. 40% of white women voted for Trump. So when Obama ran, we didn't even know who Obama was. We had never even heard that name before. But when we saw him, we all said the same thing, regardless of the color. We all said the same thing. I'm voting for him. And we should have done that same thing for Kamala, but it's okay because I think what's going to happen is Trump is either going to drop dead or he's going to really mess up the country, and Kamala's going to come back in 4 years and take it over. That's what I truly believe. That's what I hope. I mean, forget hope. We don't hope, we hustle. All right, let me put my chicken in a bowl. And then I'm going to cook the Spanish rice in the same pot. And then I'm going to mix it back in with the rice. I'm going to miss you, Rodney. Bust it back down. Bust it back down. Life is something else, guys. It is truly something else. And I hope that there is something greater beyond the stars after you leave from this realm of life. I just hope that it doesn't end for us just because we die. You know what I mean? That we go on and live. You guys ever watch that movie Soul? Y'all should really watch that. I believe Jamie Foxx plays the leading role in that movie. It's an animated movie, but it's on point. So you have to watch it, please, because I'll tell you the whole movie. But it's about life and death in an animated form. Yeah. So I'm just seasoning up my rice. And I'm going to add some Spanish rice in here. I cried so hard today. I really did. But it's all good. I hope that someone will cry when I pass. Salute to Rodney. I remember I called him. My son was attending University of Lafayette, and he had come home for vacation. And I called Rodney. I said, "Hey, Casey needs to get back to school." And I didn't have a car. Well, I had a car. I don't know what was going on with the car, but I said, can you take us in the morning to the Greyhound, and I'll just put him, we'll put him on the bus. And he said, yeah. So he said, to tell you what, tell Casey, go ahead and tell Casey to pack up his stuff, get ready. He said, I'll come pick y'all up tonight after work. We'll go to my house, and we'll leave my house that morning and take him to the bus station, which is no longer there. Trailways is now closed. But we did that. And that was the type of person that Rodney truly was. Whenever you called him, if you needed him, he was gonna be there. Rodney and my father are the reason why I don't accept no's. I don't accept no's. You're probably like, why you don't accept no's? Because I don't think you should tell me no. I think what should be done is you work it out. That we work it out. Like, instead of saying no, you can say not right now, but later, and then give me a definite date on that later, because I'll hold you to it. But don't ever tell me no, because I don't tell my kids no. I don't. So my rice is boiling, and this time I have some yellow rice. Last time I had Spanish rice, which is good because I'm gonna add the peppers in here with it, so it'll probably still change the color from this golden yellow right here to like the color of that yellow pepper or orange pepper. I'm sorry. Tasty, tasty. So I'm just gonna pour that in there, and what I like to do is just add a little water in here so I can get all the goodies, out, and pour that in there. Rodney White. Wow. I'm gonna truly miss you. When I say I'm gonna miss you, I am going to miss you. I'm gonna drop some of these in my rice too. And I'm gonna add the peppers. The rest of this I'm gonna put over here, because once the rice is done, I'm gonna pop it back in and let it simmer. And like I said, I'm gonna do an easy lasagna for you guys. That smells so good. Truly smells good. I did buy some pepper jack because I have fajitas in the refrigerator that I'm gonna prepare tomorrow. But I think I'm just gonna slice a little piece of this and add it into the rice. I'm lactose intolerant. I don't do much dairy, excuse me, at all. I don't do milk at all. I used to, when my children were younger, I would probably have a bowl of cereal once a month, but I don't buy cereal anymore. I just cook. So I'm gonna add a little piece of this in. Salute to Rodney White. I'm gonna miss you, bro. I went on your Facebook page today, and it's the same picture that I have you in my phone as Rodney is the same picture that you have on your Facebook page. So I love you, bro, and I'm gonna miss you. I truly am. I don't have that many friends, and friends come and go. But Rodney was one of those people who was always there. Truly, truly. I mean, always there. If you can imagine, always. Always there, so salute. Just wow. Just wow. So, this is a simple dish that I got going on. I'm gonna wash the dishes really quick. Okay, I'll just bring you over here where I am. And I'm gonna wash my dishes while the rice is going. I got it on high for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna let it simmer. And I'm gonna add the chicken once it's done, because I don't want the chicken to dry out from the water in the rice. Someone asked me what was my goal. What was I hoping to do with Paula's purse? And I don't know, the first thing would be my shoe drive. It's going to be my first annual shoe drive. If you know of any families I'm looking for 10 families. If you know of any families, ask them to send me a message. I'm looking for 10 families, children who are of school age, not babies, children who are of school age. I'm looking for 10 families. And if you know of anyone, definitely have them to give me a call. I have a bad habit of just wiping things down, especially when it's beautiful as it is. This kitchen is truly, truly beautiful. I love it. So the rice is going. So I'm gonna bring you back. Hey, Tasha, look at my hair. It's wet right now, so you know when it dries, it'll be standing on top of my head. For real, for real. Oops. I messed that up. All right, so the rice is going. It's going. I'm gonna cut up a little cheese, just a little piece. I love this pepper jack. Thank you guys again for tuning in and keeping up with me. I really, really appreciate it. I love all of you, and I stress help someone. Okay? Sometimes everybody needs help, all right? Everybody needs help. Now, sometimes some people don't need as much help as others. But even when you are in need, you should still help people. You should still help them. Because you have to take the focus off yourself. Because God got you. All right? God is not, he's not going to let you fall. And guess how I know that? That's what happened when I met Tasha. I didn't know where I was going to go after they stole my house. And then Tasha and her friend just rolled up in the car, right? Jeremiah told them what happened. Tasha said she had an extra place. Let me tell you what Tasha did. Tasha, let me come in. All right, let me get my wine because this is all about Rodney. But let me tell you about Tasha. Tasha said, "Yeah, you can come home with me. Come on." She knew I had a dog, and she accepted my dog, even though Jeremiah was like, "You make sure you tell her to get rid of that dog." I think a dog must have bit him when he was younger. But anyway, she said yes. Me and Kiwi could go to her house. And do you know somebody was at her house? She went in there, boom, get out. She did. I must have been just what she needed. And she was just what I needed. Because there was somebody at her house. She said, you need to get out and you need to get out now. She said, my auntie need a place to stay. Thank you for holding me down, Tasha. I love you way more than you will ever know. I'm telling you. When I come up, you come up. We're going to blow up. Yeah. So Tasha kicked him out. And which was funny because I believe he had a rifle. I saw him walk past me with I think he had like 2 bags and a big gun or something. If I'm not mistaken, Tasha, she'll let me know later. But yeah, she kicked him out. She said, you gotta go right now. And his little dusty butt. All right. That was him. And I didn't say nothing. I was just like, Thank you, Tasha. I love you so much. I appreciate you. I really do. From the bottom of my heart. And Rodney, bust her back down. That's what Rodney used to say. Bust her back down. I'm like, why you gotta bust her back down? Bust her back down. All right, so this is a go-go. I'm gonna add the chicken and the rest of the peppers. Sorry for the scraping. So I'm gonna turn that down. I'm gonna put that on. Oops. Did I turn it off? I did. I'm gonna put it on low. because it doesn't take long for this rice. Speaking of rice, always rinse off your rice. Okay? Always rinse off your rice. And you're probably like, why? The reason why you rinse off your rice is because anything that is of grain sits in a mound on a form, right? Grits, rice, pasta, which you're gonna boil your pasta, but you wash your rice. And if you wash it for the first time, you want to rinse it until the water's clear. And the reason why the water is foggy is because of what is sprayed on the rice. And then you got dust and everything else. So it's definitely important to wash your rice. Okay. So this is going, I need to go probably grab the top for it. That would actually help. Rodney's female friend, I sent her a message after I talked to her. I was highly upset. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I was upset that I didn't get the phone call. And then I told her, girl, don't even worry about blowing up my phone because I'm trying to grieve the death of my friend who passed 6 months ago. Because if you read the text that I sent 2 days ago, you read all the other texts, the text from 6 months ago. So you could have texted me that when he died. Now, she said they went to the casino and he had a heart attack at the casino. And I'm just wondering, Rodney, like, did you have a heart attack because you lost? Like what? Rodney used to always say he had the body of a 75-year-old man. He would always say that. Always. Even though he died at 58, he always said he had the body of an old man. So I don't know. But I'm going to go grab the lid. Oh, no. I wonder if it's on this side. Hold on, guys. Is that a big one? Yeah. Okay. Does this one fit? Yeah, and it does. So I'm gonna let that simmer. I started the show off by talking about loss and how do we deal with loss. And it's important when you lose someone to talk about it, to vent, to grieve. When they say grieve, you be like, what does grieve mean? You're going through this emotional roller coaster ride because someone died that you truly love. And I think about my father. And when my father died, I went back to therapy and I finished my therapy. So it helped me um, a great bit. Now that I have lost a good friend of mine, um, I have to find ways to process the death. And so what I thought about immediately was, and I told Alicia and Tasha, and I think I texted Jennifer, and I told Jennifer that I was gonna cook something. I'm not hungry. I don't even care about it. I don't have an appetite, but I wanted to cook something. I wanted to come back and do a show. I wanted to talk to you guys because it's been such a long time. It seemed like forever, even though I know it's probably been 2 months, 2.5 months since I gave you a show that was longer than 15 minutes. Because normally what I've been doing is just dropping shorts for views. All right. So I wanted to come back and talk with you guys because loss is a hell of a thing, just as is gain. When you gain something, you feel wonderful about it. You know, my word is wonderful. You feel wonderful about it. But when you lose, right? That is what is kind of hard to process. Just hard to process. I understand it. Don't get me wrong. It's just hard to process because Rodney was 58. And the thing is, when God calls you, he's going to get you no matter what, right? And on our end, we're like, hey, he was 58. He just retired. He just retired from his job 3 months ago. And then he died. But, you know, maybe Rodney knew something. I mean, whether he did or not, God knew he was going to take him in the day that he was going to take him. And it just happened to be at the casino. So this looks really good. I'm actually going to shut it off. The rice is ready. I'm going to add a little more cheese. I think I might put just a little more in here. This is my, this is how I get my dairy. It'll hurt my stomach later, but it's all good. So I'm gonna put that on low, and I'm gonna wipe everything down, and we're just gonna take this conversation to the couch, okay? Give me a minute. I have all these bags of seasoning that I need to unload. Did I season the water? I did, yes. So you always want to make sure you season your water. If not, what you cook in the water will just turn out bland. So guys, what I'm gonna do once my dinner is done, I'm gonna post a video, and then also I will do a short, maybe a 10-second short of just the meal, okay? I'll just post a picture. I'm just gonna shut it off, put it to the side. I put cheese in here, just a couple of drops. Mind you, I should never be the cameraman, ever. I should never be the cameraman. But hey, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for watching me, for keeping up with me. And if you have the opportunity to tell your mother, your father that you love them, do that. If you have the chance to tell people that you care about, that you love them, do that. Because life is so short. It is so short. I'm gonna miss you, Rodney. I don't know what else I can say is that I'm gonna miss you. And I notified all my children. I told Casey, you know, Casey is in Russia, and he said he was sorry to hear that you had passed, and he was praying for your family. And you know, Miss Kayla, she said as soon as she gets out of her training, she was going to give me a call because she knows that you and I were great friends. Speaking of which, she's calling right now. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to Paula's Purse, where the bag is always filled with topics to discuss.